In the late 19th century, a frenzy gripped the European powers, a race for dominance over a vast and untapped continent, Africa. This scramble for supremacy would redraw the map of Africa, leaving a legacy that resonates to this day. It all began with the Industrial Revolution, which fueled European ambitions for resources, markets, and strategic dominance. But Africa remained largely unexplored, a tantalizing mystery waiting to be unlocked. Enter the explorers, adventurers, and missionaries who ventured into the heart of Africa, mapping its terrain, documenting its people, and reporting back to eager audiences in Europe. As reports of Africa's vast wealth in natural resources spread, European powers saw an opportunity too lucrative to ignore. Gold, diamonds, rubber, ivory. The continent seemed to hold endless treasures waiting to be plundered. In 1884, the Berlin Conference was convened, a gathering of European powers to formalize the division of Africa among themselves. Led by figures like Otto von Bismarck and King Leopold II of Belgium, they carved up Africa with little regard for its existing boundaries or the wishes of its inhabitants. Lines were drawn on maps, arbitrarily slicing through the continent, creating artificial borders that ignored ethnic, cultural, and linguistic realities. Overnight, Africa was transformed into a patchwork of colonies, protectorates, and spheres of influence. Under colonial rule, Africa endured centuries of exploitation and oppression. Indigenous populations were subjected to forced labor, cultural assimilation, and brutal repression. The wealth of Africa flowed outwards, enriching European coffers while leaving the continent impoverished. But Africa did not submit quietly. Resistance movements sprang up across the continent, led by visionary leaders like Samori Touré, Menelik II, and Ya Asantewaa. They fought fiercely against colonial rule, defending their land, their culture, and their dignity. In the 20th century, the winds of change swept across Africa. Inspired by the struggles for independence elsewhere, African nations rose up to reclaim their sovereignty. One by one, they cast off the shackles of colonialism and asserted their right to self-determination. The legacy of the scramble for Africa still looms large today. Decades after the colonial powers withdrew, Africa continues to grapple with the scars of its past. The legacy of arbitrary borders, ethnic tensions, and economic inequality. But amidst the challenges, there is also hope. Africa's rich cultural heritage, its resilient people, and its untapped potential are sources of inspiration for the future. As the continent forges ahead, it carries with it the lessons of history, the scars of the past, and the dreams of a brighter tomorrow. The scramble for Africa may have redrawn the map, but it could not erase the spirit of a continent determined to shape its own destiny. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content on history and culture. Until next time, stay curious.